Third item on this holiday version of the Sunday Six is our Victory Unlocked. It's brought to you by Zillow, agents, tours, loans, homes. And in the statement game opportunity of the week, Philadelphia Eagles know exactly how to unlock a victory. When you have a battering ram named Saquon Barkley, you just keep ramming it at the gate until you break through. That's exactly what they do. They beat the Baltimore Ravens on the road, short little bus ride down the interstate to Baltimore. They're heading back with a 24-19 win, as hot as any team in the NFL. And like I said, they did it as old school as you could possibly want. They just kept handing the ball to Saquon Barkley. And I love the persistence. 23 carries, 107 yards for Saquon. Perfectly fine day. The stat line sounds nice, but I love the way they got it. Saquon Barkley, 12-yard gain on his first touch on Sunday afternoon. Didn't have another 10-yard gain until the fourth quarter when he had two, including the 25-yard touchdown that really felt like it broke this game open. Eagles went up by 2 scores with 8 minutes to play. And while the Ravens did rally to make this a 5-point game, it felt like Philly was in control from there. Saquon just churning away 1 4-yard gain at a time, persistently wearing down the Ravens defense until there's a break. It's exactly what happened. It's like a boxer, man. I love this style of football. It's so primal. It goes back to the origins of the sport. And to their credit, the Ravens like to play this way too. They just didn't do it as well as the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, but you just take body blow after body blow and you keep coming back. And eventually the other guy is going to get tired. And that's when Saquon Barkley can go for 25 or more in the fourth quarter of a game, really put this thing out of reach. And a credit to the Eagles, the way they managed to hang in there, because it did not feel like it was going to be that type of game in the early going. Eagles offense, notoriously slow starters. They have been all year. They failed to gain more than 21 yards on any of their first 4 possessions. They punted 4 straight times. And man, the Ravens started this thing like gangbusters. They jumped out to a 9-0 lead. Lamar Jackson had 4 explosive passes in the first quarter alone. Eagles were losing receivers in the middle of the field left and right until all of a sudden nothing was doing. Ravens, 2 explosive passes the rest of the way after those big 4 in the first quarter. And the Ravens go 8 straight possessions without a touchdown in this game. It's their longest stretch without a touchdown in any game this season. So not only did the Eagles have the patience to hang in there with the run game, and credit to Jalen Hurts as well. I thought he had his stat line, not anything that's going to blow you away statistically, but continuing to find A.J. Brown, continuing to use the short passing game without Devontae Smith to keep the chains moving when the running game wasn't there. He had a stretch with 7 straight completions, just using his talent at receiver and tight end to his advantage, kept the Eagles offense alive, and Vic Fangio certainly in the running for assistant coach of the year, especially after the way the Eagles started this season. They have become so impressive. They did not let Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson's running ability kill them, which is hilarious because the Ravens still ran for 166 yards. But you'll take that all day if you can limit the back-breaking explosive plays. Lamar had one of those, but it was really after this game was out of reach. Secondary continues to dial in and do its thing. The box score is going to tell you that Lamar played great, and he wasn't bad, but the Eagles, after a shaky start to this game, really battened down the hatches and made life difficult on the Ravens. And again, you got that battering ram, and eventually Saquon Barkley is going to break through. It's such an impressive formula. And mind you, this was a game without Devontae Smith, like we said. So the Eagles offense, less explosive than what we're used to. They still managed to go down and beat the Ravens at their own game. I've been saying it for a few weeks now. I'm just going to keep saying it louder. There's only 1 or 2 teams in the league that I feel better about than the Philadelphia Eagles. I hope we get a chance to see Philly play Detroit at some point in the playoffs, because that is going to be cinema. And we can already kind of look forward to that. There's plenty of season left, and knock on some wood, Eagles fans. I know what happened last year, but between offense and defense, this group is such a tough out. They very much made a statement in Baltimore. They all of a sudden look like they are running away with the NFC East, even with Washington getting a win on Sunday. It's just a matter of how high is their seed? Can they catch the Lions? Because I absolutely think they are going to play a big role at the top of the NFC standings in the playoffs. Now, having said all that great stuff about Philly, and I mean it, I guess I'm going to keep, beating the drum for the Philadelphia Eagles being a Super Bowl caliber team. But understanding that this was a really nice win for them, is it time to have a conversation about Justin Tucker? Has it been time? Like we've talked about it. We've kind of whispered about it and made uncomfortable eye contact when talking about Justin Tucker. Is it outright time to wonder if the Ravens need to do something about their potential Hall of Fame, their perennial Pro Bowl kicker? To hear it from them, they're not going to. John Harbaugh said after the game he's got no plans to move on from Justin Tucker. I don't envy the position that he's in, because how do you release a franchise icon who's been such a big part of so many wins and so many great seasons and has a Hall of Fame resume? Having said that, if you didn't watch, Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals and an extra point in a game that Baltimore lost by 5. And that is a theme for the season. Justin Tucker, it sounds crazy to say, but just 19 of 27 on the season. This has been a year-long problem for him. Every week, we keep waiting for him to round into that form where you can trust him from anywhere on the field, and it's just not coming. And the uncomfortable truth is a lot of these misses are not from crazy range. He missed a kick from 47 yards against the Eagles. I went back and looked it up. He's got 8 misses this year. Only one of those has come in a win. 7 of his 8 misses have come in games Baltimore lost. Missed against Kansas City in the season opener in a game they lose by 7. Missed from 56, which admittedly is a long kick against Las Vegas, but they lose that game by 3. 2 misses a couple weeks ago against Pittsburgh in a game the Ravens lose by 2. Against Cleveland, a miss from 50 that would have tied the game in the fourth quarter in a game the Ravens ultimately lose by 5. And now Sunday, you miss 3 different kicks for a total of 7 points in a 5-point loss to Philadelphia. I'm not trying to throw dirt on the guy. Like I said, I don't envy the position of having to make that decision about such a legendary player. And I'm sure John Harbaugh does legitimately believe that Justin Tucker can dig out of this. But man, you're 8-5 now. All of a sudden, the Steelers' lead in the AFC North is starting to look commanding. And your kicker is a big part, even if you don't want to put all of those losses on Justin Tucker, because they lost the game to Cleveland for about a dozen different reasons. I'm well aware. They lost the game to Las Vegas for about a dozen different reasons. But there are at least 1 or 2 games where your kicker not showing up for you is a huge part of the Monday morning story. And this is going to be one of them. And if we were whispering and making weird eye contact about Justin Tucker before, we're absolutely having a dialogue about it now. And it's fine if the Ravens want to trust in him. I probably would too. He's earned that benefit of the doubt. But with each passing week, it gets harder to say that when you look at the margin for error between winning the division or not, or having a higher seed or not, or going home early in the playoffs or not. It's an uncomfortable conversation because of how much he's accomplished. It is a very real conversation.